Check the receipts. Zucchini was first grown less than a year ago when Super Smash came out. Call me. I'm already like in the middle of a run. And by a run I mean a playthrough of the Green Temple. Day 1. See ya. Have a nice one. This silly. What? This is a banger. Nothing much more to say. Climb up here. Ultra difficult. I don't know why I went so early. Oh, I lagged. Really? This screen is super sexy though. Ultra difficult in the flesh. And then back to regularly scheduled programming. A barrier that you can just move past. Up, back over. Oh gosh darn it. I'm fucking legendary. I've never done that save before. It's supposed to just super off the puzzle. Nice. Big win. Right before the deadline hits. Nice. I'll be more focused in later days, but today, whatever. Day 2. Up at night. Shrimp. Contesting it up. Alright, let's go. So, green temple, right? Lots of green, but then you get red. And here's where things really get tricky. Looks like Kevin's a bit angry. Elvins aren't really angry, they're just doing their job, I am. These Kevins are like pissed the fuck off on God. And you got darkness, but it's well done. It's tasteful, it's not overwhelming or frustrating to play. The surroundings are still pretty well lit. Just really helps sell the green, you know? The green of it all. And here you think you'll delve further into the darkness, but you pop back out into the light, feeling refreshed. And as you'll see in a moment, this actually sets up the next area really nicely. Pop over here. Welcome to hell. Sometimes that can happen. Alright, we got it. And then you break out truly into peace. The double dash indicator, hop back over here. Alright, this is the hardest input in the map. Alright, we did it. Perfectly set up corner. Corner boost. Here's truly a test of your Pablo knowledge. And the final area. That's unfortunate. Backup strat? Nope. Really? That can happen? Interesting. Gotta be like a late dream jump there. Final screen. Wow, that was some serious lag. Nice. Did you know Celeste was made by LXLX, the vanilla gameplay? Goes on to create a better version of vanilla, the Green Temple. We have the house from the beginning, and we have the button from the prologue. Calls back to all the times we never got buttons in our lives. Here we have multiple dash refills, madhouse cabins, everything you remember from the original game, but this time more polished, more refined, and more artistic. It's not just Granny getting mad at you for not taking your cardio seriously. We're actually back on the existential shrimp journey. We're plunged into darkness. And we gotta really figure out what we're gonna do from this point on. Which is, at this point in the story, just keep on moving forward, keep on doing your best. Sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you miss the cabin 5 times. And here's where things really get tricky. You lose all your Celeste skill. And the climax where you find out how angry you really are before accepting it and moving on. These Pablos represent, this whole area is about the connection to nature and how that affects each of our philosophies and our appreciation for life in general. You know. Pablos, which are usually just used as memes to get a rise, to get a laugh, here are taken very seriously. You're really forced to confront, the purpose of life, nature, every bit of your environment, and not take it for granted. And this is when Madeline's overcome with beauty and wonder. And I knew that was going to happen from the day I came up the shrimp. And then here's where Madeline self-reflects. She has the tools now. And now it's time to get more puzzly, time to really dig deep. Really unwrap what's been going on throughout the stage. Whoa. Unfortunate. Just because you have a propensity for happiness doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. There'll be fast-paced times in your life, more leisurely times where you can't stop moving, times where you can ignore everything with no consequence. And throughout all of it. You don't have to stay steady, but staying keen is the key to, actually getting something out of it. Taking shortcuts or really neglecting the puzzles that present themselves in your life will really put you in a tough spot. Now that symbolizes when you fail a wave dash, shit goes wrong. And here, we reflect on the beginning. Turn to our past. Why did we act like that? What's changed? And how is our newfound knowledge able to assist us in everyday living? Or when we run into a particularly hard challenge in our lives, such as a tough puzzle room in Celeste, and we get a lag spike. And, it's not easy. And you have to deal with it. You have to go back to the start. You can call it being unlucky, but no matter what, you just gotta get back up. I know that's not, obviously you gotta reach out to other people for help, but sometimes you're the only person who can permit change to happen in yourself. And here, we don't get another lag spike. We make it through. What people be like, oh, Summit. So true, feet. Touchdown. See ya. Green Temple.
Caucus. Next station stop, North Penn Station.
me actually pull up my notes for this. Give me 1 second. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the first room, the deco's not super thick. It's pretty light, but instantly there's the color palette's like sharper, a little bit sharper than what you see in your average map. The green spinners really stand out. Broken, and the background's pretty subdued, and the parallax is like messed up, so the clouds are very disorienting in a weird way. And it's like, alright, it develops a sense of mystique that the original vanilla temple doesn't really have, and you see some light trees in the background, but you quickly move away from that and into the dilapidated temple, which is more obviously man-made and structural. Okay, so these Kevins, they're like Melvins. They attack when they see you, but Melvins don't constantly interrupt their movement like this. You'll have to wait for a Melvin to completely retract. If those of you don't know, Melvins were in Scribble's startup contest map. I don't remember what it's called, like Hostile Trail or something. And then, Old One's Mausoleum from Secret Santa Club. These ones a bit different. And instantly you realize, okay, this is kind of a wacky map, it uses wacky mechanics. And you're forced, and it kind of tricks you with that fake wall. You really have to, you can react to it, but a lot of people just get killed, and it's like, okay, there's going to be some trial and error in this map. It's not going to hold your hand. It's going to be a little bit harsh. So the first berry, right? Usually the first berry sets the tone for the rest of the berries, It's just a berry that accentuates the challenge slightly. Instead of just dashing across, you have to do a precise jump across and maybe use your dash later. There are multiple different ways to tackle that part. So you get the sense that, okay, the berries are going to be pretty normal and not really stick out much. And I haven't really talked about the overarching goal of this map yet, because I feel like part of what the map does really well is it establishes initial tone and then strays far away from it and kind of keeps subverting your expectations throughout the entire experience. And it starts with temple music, but you quickly realize, alright, this isn't really temple. This is a lot different. And so here you're wondering, okay, what the fuck? I might as well wave dash across, and then there you go. A long Kevin reveals itself from the fake wall. Already building on the mechanic of the fake wall, I guess. Kind of. So here you're like, oh fuck, there's gotta be another Melvin. No, there's nothing. It's fine. And I'm gonna be honest, when I got here and I saw darkness, I was a little like, haha, and then a little like, ugh, darkness, but it doesn't really get in the way of the gameplay much at all here. It's just shrimp. You have the second berry, which actually accentuates the first berry. Just a little extra challenge, not much to say. But you wonder, why is the camera panning so far down? And there's just a random berry there. And it's amazing. It's incredible. So that's pretty funny. And, it encourages exploration as you go throughout the map. Like, okay, I really want to kind of peel apart this temple and figure out all the different stuff that's in it, because so far each little corner has been a surprise, and a fun one at that. So a little more about the deco. I like the small decals that are placed. A lot of them are from Temple, but they mix in vegetation, vines, grass as well, and the spinners are very grass-like, I guess. And it feels like it's really been overgrown and just taken over by nature, which we'll learn more about nature in the next checkpoint. Or there aren't really checkpoints, but the next area. So here's just kind of focus a little bit. Yeah, so far it's pretty straightforward. I feel like, there's some silly subversions, but you're kind of just going across. This is the first, what the fuck? I really got taken for a trip. And now we've kind of opened up clearly, as you see here. We're moving away from the temple, and there's a clear sense of progression. I'm going to stop here and I gotta focus on talking more than planning. There's a clear sense of progression, right? You're outside the temple, you go into the temple. At the heart of the temple, it's really dark, and then you burst out at the temple into, either an elevated level or a path to escape the temple. And here it gets more open, more vegetation, and you get the feeling that, you're towards the end of the map, especially with this upcoming room that's going to be completely hectic and overwhelming. And so here, there's a shit ton of stuff going on. There's many, many cabins, and you'll have to, navigate them using your knowledge and expertise, I guess, that you've built up so far. This is the final challenge of this area. Really testing your ability to, manipulate these cabins, but also think on the spot. And here's a funny little troll. There's literally nothing up here. So you just die. But those little things, you could call them trolls, but they really demonstrate that this wasn't meant for humans. I don't know. I'm venturing into the shrimp category, or territory. When I say, it's almost like a human wasn't meant to play this. We're back into the open. We got flowers. An abundance of flowers. So really, much more peaceful. Away from the oppression of the temple. Because the vibes of that temple really were oppressive. They were, not too oppressive, but the angry melt was attacking you from every which angle. You're on your toes. You're really kind of wary. Here it's more you relax. Away from man-made structure. You're in nature. You can calm down. And so the first, and how this map, this area implements that into the gameplay, is with Pablos. Everyone loves Pablos. Okay. There's a little extra area down there that does nothing, I'm pretty sure. And so that's, just yet another part of it. It's nature. Evil. Okay, because let me just showcase this. Go down here with a dash, and there's nothing. We still got the angry cabins, still building on the gameplay, but they're more natural. You can see them more often. They're focused to integrate into the gameplay. They're not waiting to ambush you. So it feels more like shrimple. More intentional. And here, I haven't talked about how it's mixing in blue spinners to kind of, Blue stands for life, rebirth, etc. It's just more spiritual, more peaceful nature stuff. You get it. Color theory, etc. Here's a funny little indicator that teaches you that Pablo's set your dash count to different amounts. And this one has a little double dash crystal, so you know, okay, it sets your dash to 2. A little extra challenge. I don't think this... Yeah, this map doesn't have any berry rooms. It's just sort of... You get the vibe by now, like, okay, there's not going to be a berry room. Unless you've missed it, but you haven't. There is no berry rooms. So... These lights are kind of funny. In the previous area, they're used to, like, light up. You know. What's the word? Shit. I don't know. To anti-obfuscate, like, the path. To illuminate the path. But here they're just used as, like, little indicators to help you progress through this weird kind of green environment. Okay, so here you learn you can stand on doors. Simple. And they have a little black weirdness that's kind of funny. And, you know, the one entity that really stands out in this area, like, because they're man-made. The switches and the doors are they're in sharp contrast to the rest of the color scheme and the mechanics. And so, you know, it's still effective. And you see glimpses of the temple tile set here and there. It's like, okay, you're still on the outskirts of the temple. It's not like completely nature, completely natural. Okay, I'll get better at talking as I go on, hopefully, but yeah. Okay, so this room is funny. It's an absolute, I did the silver for this map, and this room is an absolute killer. Oh, is this the first room that uses red bubbles? Yeah. I mean, you know what red bubbles are, so they don't feel out of place, but temples. First room in this area that uses red bubbles. Classic temple mechanic, but, you know, feels a bit different because of how they're used. They're not really, in a lot of advanced maps, you know, you'll use them for wall bounces, you'll use them for midair supers, but here it's just helping, it helps, like, structure a lot of the timings in this map. Like, that'll be clear in the next room. So here, there's a corner boost at the very end of this room. And somehow, if you just do the rest of the room, it just sets it up perfectly. Like, there's no, like, weird variables that screw it up. You just dash left here, and you don't fast bubble, and then you win. And it's just that simple. And you get a bind at the end of the room. And like, why would there be binder at the end of the room? Which is a clever little way to show you that, hey, there is a berry below the little fake ground. And you're like, alright. I mean, some people might not get this because it's an advanced map, mostly. And there's no way to tell that you can go through spikes, but fast fall through spikes in the correct manner, then you can go. And I screwed up. I should have entered the next room and then re-entered this room because reset your spawn point. Okay, I used to know the setup for this, but I don't know it anymore. I mean, obviously when you reset your subpixels, and you want to be in this little indicator. But yeah, you start fast falling at a kind of arbitrary point. And the first time I did it, I did like a weird thing where I went from here that felt like consistent. But I think This is slightly more consistent. I haven't really talked enough about the gameplay. So each room is wildly different, of course, and that the next room will definitely show that. But it's all still using the same flow, which is like, I don't know, you get a lot of breakpoints in each screen, whether you're flying through the red bubble or you're hanging on a wall waiting for a angry Kevin to retract. But it never feels like annoying. Like it's not too hard to the point where it's annoying. A lot of expert Grandmaster maps, there'll be like just like a 1.5 second spot in the middle of the screen, not much at all, where you're waiting. And it's annoying because like there's more hard gameplay after it and you have to wait, and it's annoying. But none of the rooms in this map are too long. They all feel just the right length where you can get a little bit frustrated if you die at the end, but you'll get back there really quickly, and you'll never get stuck on a particular room for too long. The difficulty curve is very even. Each room provides a new challenge and kind of forces you to reconsider how you're using the mechanics in a different way. But like, you can corner boost off of these angry Kevins now. We would have never thought that such a thing could be consistent, thinking back to the last room of the first area where it's hectic and stupid. But stupid in a good way. But yeah. And there's all that, which makes the map feel like much shorter than it actually is. When you get to the end, it's like, that was a journey, but it wasn't like, not something I needed to do in multiple sittings or something that I felt tired doing. It's just, it just keeps you engaged. Because the deco changes like every 6 screens or something, and each gameplay screen is really fresh. And so here, this is a completely silly room that kind of mirrors the end of the first area. Super hectic, not what you expect, given the focused gameplay of the previous rooms, and just overall silly. So you'll often die in this room a couple times just because you're not expecting to hit a Pablo and you'll like dash right before you hit one or something. But yeah, just comfortable falling, free falling, serene skydive build. And here there's a Pablo you hit that gives you a shit ton of dashes. So you can kind of just delay and take your time. And so it's a very good capstone to the second area, which is very peaceful, more controlled, and yeah, less oppressive. So now the last area. This song is a banger, dude. But yeah, now you're like, what the fuck? I mean, the spinners get another little visual change. There's blue spinners, there's green spinners, and now there's little rainbowish spinners. Now we're like, it's like the farewell part of the Green Temple, I guess you could call it. It's more abstract. It introduces dream bubbles. It's going to test you on everything you've learned so far. So this last area is definitely more puzzly. It's more routing oriented. You'll really have to strain your brain. And so I guess this is, contrary to what I was saying earlier, this is definitely the area where you start to like, you really have to, it's a workout. You got to exercise what you've learned. So these dream bubbles are going to be used in lots of crazy ways. Already, that first screen, one of my favorite screens in the entire map. Just really smart routing. Like, you have to bring that double dash all the way back, and the only way you're going to do that is if you do that cool little maneuver where you fling yourself back over. And just hitting the switch there helps time that whole section a lot better. And yeah, of course, the double dash check at the end, where you need the right dash and the up dash. Very smart. And that berry over there was also a funny little reward for being exploratory. So here you know you have to take the dream bubble through the wall, because otherwise you can't progress, but you do have to loop around, hit those Pablos, and then do another little dash conservation section. So this is a bit of a troll. If you want to stall for time, it resets your dash back to 1. And so that's kind of a little troll tutorial. If you didn't know that, they do set your dash count. They don't like augment your dash count, if you know what I mean. Which, continues the theme that this is hostile. It's gonna keep surprising you. Not made for humans. There's nothing up here, but I'm glad that this wall that tells you, okay, you can go up and check that there is indeed nothing up there. So let's talk about the deck a little more in this area. Obviously, it's using sci-fi tile set. More abstract. We're in a weird place now. Get used to it. Farewell, deco, but definitely different. Still using crazy, weird parallax in the background that fucks with your sense of space. And the crystal's floating, obviously, more abstractness. So here's a little, mini fucking ultra difficult section. Not much to say here other than that switch doesn't do anything. It's kind of fun. It is notable how this part is completely cheesable. If you don't want to do a speed section, you can skip it. And that's totally fine. What was I gonna say? Yeah, if you get this switch, you're fucked. I think you can technically save it from that switch if you stand on the switch, but that's the intended solution right there. And so here it's like, ooh, berry, and get out of the way. That MF is angry. And this Pablo is a funny little timer. That Pablo slowly moves to the right. From the moment you start the room, it starts slowly moving right, and eventually it's gonna fall. There you go. So you can't dawdle around too much. That doesn't enforce the speed section at all. Funny troll. Just wanted to show that off. Yeah. And this room is so short, that troll doesn't matter. It's not annoying, it's just funny. I love Lava Layer, but some of the trolls got a little annoying for some people I saw who played it, because they're like, I've been grinding this room for 2 hours, and then I just got trolled and I have to do it again. And Lava Layer is not precise. Lava Layer is not consistent. You have to do a lot of precise inputs. The trolls in there are very funny, but here they're less, they're less harsh. It's just do the silly little room again, and you'll be fine. But they provide a great comedic value that just keeps you going. This is a fun little thing. There's a huge routing puzzle here that's only for berry. This is the closest thing you get to a berry room. You technically have to progress through it to progress, but it's completely skippable. And then this red bubble is nothing. It's just the evil bubble. There's no reason to go in it, and the only thing you gain by entering it is a chance to die. And so here's simple little routing puzzle. Not simple, but pretty nice. It's like the number one mechanic in Celeste that people underestimate is how far Madeline can jump. I see people get stuck here because you don't realize, okay, you can just make that easily. And so here's a funny little ultra chain. It's an advanced map, but the berries go a little bit further than that. So that's a cool little routing puzzle that tests your knowledge of how switches work, and asks you to play around with different switch orders, or switch in different orders. So this is a really clever setup that, these switches just exist to make this setup work perfectly, and it all feels very smooth. You can wall bounce off here, or you can stall and stand on the ledge. Whatever works. That's a cool aspect of this map. There are many different approaches to many of these rooms. There might be one intended solution, but if you don't want to think, or if you don't want to do some heavy thinking and you just want to take it easy, you don't have to do the complex routing. So there's a funny little switch back there this entire screen is about avoiding the switches. So, there are multiple instances of this, I guess, design earlier in the map, but that screen is very much like a reminder before the very last screen, which is next. You don't need to collect every switch, and you don't need to collect every switch in the order that seems apparent. So this is the orb room, the final room of the last section, where you're finally actually escaping the temple. And it's the most extreme test of routing up until this point. And here's a little funny little troll that Pablo sets you to 0 dashes. So, at this point you should be wary. Like, a lot of people just don't touch that Pablo at all because they know, you don't need it. So it must not be worth it. And it's funny how, in any other map, you'd hit the Pablo because it must be a necessary part of the room, but this map has taught you thus far that not all elements of a room are necessary. You have to pick and choose. You have to make decisions. You have to, really force your way through this temple yourself. And it's not gonna hold your hand. It's not made for you, but it's fun nonetheless. It's fun to explore. So here's the final little, it really emphasizes the fact that this is the end. You just got boosted and boosted and boosted. Here's a checkpoint symbol, but since it hasn't been used thus far in the map, it just signifies that you've made it out rather than this is a new area. Here's the heart. And we return back to the song in the second area. Peaceful. Still fucked up parallax, still confusing, still weird, still absurdist and funny, but still kind of almost minimalist deco and, calm. You're, like the second area, you're free from the oppressive temple and you've made it out. But there's a larger sense of finality. So yeah, that's the Green Temple. And that's my favorite map because, it's so, like I said, it doesn't feel like it's